This is two gentlemen wearing jeans and polo shirts, knocking on the door of a family's home.
Hello? Hi. I'm looking for Vanessa Sivage.
Okay. Yeah. Who are you? Cassie.
I'll make some FBI agent.
Okay.
This is Mr. McBride.
Hey, I'm David McBride.
Okay. Nice to meet you, sir.
Let me do this.
FBI agents, two FBI agents here.
Interaction, you're not in trouble nor is she.
Okay. All right.
Hi, how are you? She snuck up on you there. You want to see too? Are we interrupting dinner? I'm really sorry.
That's all right. What's
You're not that sorry. You showed up at dinner time, so.
going on?
Let me start at the beginning. So I'm sure you're aware of some of the things that have been going on at your work lately.
With regards to,
Yeah, so can we sit down for a minute? Let me do my song and dance.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about that story in a minute. I just want to put a pause on that about why these two FBI agents were knocking on this nurse's door and wants to do a song and dance inside. Okay, so pause on that story for a moment. We'll get back to it. We'll tell you why they're doing a song and dance. But I see this. This is from a Ring doorbell. You're like, hold on, the FBI's knocking on people. Actually, let me tell you a little bit of it. She's one of the whistleblowers at Texas Children's Hospital. When she said, hey, Texas Children's Hospital said they're not doing gender reassignment surgery on minors, and they still are. And by the way, that's against Texas law, and it's against Texas Medicare because they're getting paid for doing it, and they're not allowed to anymore. But they're still mutilating children. I'd like to blow the whistle on that. And the FBI knocks on their door. They're charging her and this other doctor, she's a nurse, they're charging another doctor with violation of privacy for the patients, the children who had this transgender medicine done to them. So that's what happens when you blow the whistle, is you may get FBI agents knocking on your door. Okay, let's pause that story. I want to go to Jason Foster, who's the founder and chair of Empower Oversight. He used to be the chief investigative counsel for the Senate Judiciary for Chuck Grassley as well. Jason, how you doing, sir?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Good to talk to you. I don't know if you know the details about that story yet specifically, but I wanted to invite you on about an FBI whistleblower who has had some information, proof, evidence, gave it to you, about they're applying for a job. Tell us this story.
Yeah, so actually it wasn't during the application process. So our client was a 12-year employee of the FBI already held a security clearance for all that time, worked in a secure facility, but had gone down to hear President Trump speak on January 6th. He and his wife had gone down. Did not enter the Capitol, did not engage in any violence, wasn't, left when they heard about Ashley Babbitt being shot. It was on personal leave. Self-reported to the security officer after he saw what happened after he saw the reports on TV about the rest of the violence. Didn't knowingly go across any barriers or enter any restricted area. And he reports that. He self-reports, hey, I was down there. That's what I was doing on my day off. I didn't see any of the kind of, any of the extreme violence that I saw later on TV that night. Nothing happens for 15 months. His security officer's like, okay, thanks for telling me, right? There was no concern. But as there was this hysteria building in the FBI and this, revenge to get anybody, with any association with the events of that day whatsoever out of the FBI, there was this purge going on. 15 months later, he starts getting investigated by the FBI's security division. They suspend his clearance.
15 months later.
Yeah, they suspend his clearance. They suspend his pay. And he was in that suspension for over a year. He eventually becomes our client. We eventually challenge his security clearance review. There's an internal appeals process. It's pretty Kafkaesque and meaningless, but you do get the right to at least ask for the investigative file of what the security division found when they investigated you and what the basis is for them revoking your clearance. And when we went through the documents in that file, that's when we found these shocking documents that we posted last week, and then it's gotten quite a bit of attention. What it was interview outlines where the security division investigators were asking our client's coworkers whether completely inappropriate questions such as, has he ever vocalized support for President Trump? Has he ever objected to the COVID-19 vaccine? So did he attend a Second Amendment rally in Richmond? Right? These are questions that have nothing to do with someone's fitness for a security clearance. But these are the kinds of questions that they were forcing. Mind you, these interviews of his coworkers, they are forced to do these interviews, right? They're compelled interviews. They're told at the beginning of the interview that they could lose their security clearance if they don't answer the questions. So people are literally being forced to rat out their coworkers as to what their political opinions are. And, the COVID-19 question is particularly, the vaccine question is particularly outrageous because at the time these questions were being answered in April of 2022, the vaccine mandate as applied to federal employees had been struck down, right? There was an injunction; it couldn't be enforced. So, A, it was irrelevant for that reason. B, it's irrelevant to the investigation as to what our client was doing, in D.C. on January 6th, which, by the way, is completely legitimate. We think it's we're not objecting to the fact that they investigated. If someone was there, right, it's totally legit for them and has a security clearance. It's totally legit to investigate whether, they engaged in any illegal activity or encouraged any illegal activity or cheered on violence or anything like that. But our client didn't do any of those things. He was just, going down there to see the speech and, ended up being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it cost him his career. He has since retired early and lost out on retirement credits and health insurance and so forth, and is now forced to forego all those benefits and lose his good job that he had at the FBI.
Wow. So look at this document. So I didn't realize you're right. This is a document given to another person, a coworker. And it says, it says you have a duty to reply to the questions posed to you during this interview. Should you refuse to answer or fail to reply fully and truthfully, actions against your security clearance may be undertaken. Yes. And you may be referred to the inspection division for possible disciplinary action. So you're like, geez. All right, so it says, question number one is relationship to this person. How long have you known, in what capacity? And then it says socialized, question mark? So is that just like, are you buddies outside of work? Is that what that is?
Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way,
that's
I think
all redacted.
Also makes the questions more outrageous, right? Because it's not even, did he express these opinions at work? They're asking, did he express them anywhere?
Oh, interesting. Oh, good point. All right, question number two is vocalize support for President Trump. So this person put a giant bold block exclamation point after that question. Why did they do that? Was that to say, what? What was the point of that bold exclamation point they put?
Well, I mean, we don't know. We haven't had a chance. All we get is the documents. We don't get to go and interview the person who filled it out. So just to be clear, so this is an interview outline that the investigator is using. So it's not like they handed this piece of paper to the witness and had the witness fill it out. Right?
Okay, I got it.
So these are the handwritten notes of the interviewer. So the interviewer put the exclamation point there. And I don't know if that's just, emphasizing, the witness said he's very, very Trumpy, or I'm not sure what that means, right?
Yeah, okay. It's so weird. All right, so okay, got it. So the interviewer said very significantly supported.
Yeah.
I can't read the handwriting, had listened to talk shows, Trump did not lose, Dems stole it, militant points of view, never implied would do anything aggressive or physical. That was what that was the guy's answer.
That's what the witness said, yeah. That's what the interviewer recorded that the witness said, yeah.
That's right, over this. Vocalize objection to COVID-19 vaccination. Very against masks and vaccinated, not vaccinated, and would try not to wear mask. Connected to anti-vaccination FBI groups to discuss and figure out how to avoid getting vaxxed. No anti-FBI rhetoric. This is about a coworker who went to January 6th trying to get him. What do you think the FBI's goal was in asking these questions?
Well, there's no legitimate goal, right? I mean, if they're trying to assess, as we totally concede, assessing someone's loyalty to the United States is part of the security clearance process. Assessing someone's loyalty to the FBI should not be, right? I mean, because whistleblowing is protected, right? And, but in the FBI, there's a very, very anti-whistleblower culture that goes back, from the organization's founding, really, right? So they see whistleblowing, although it's legally protected and it's illegal to retaliate against whistleblowers in the FBI, that it's totally the culture that they will retaliate by any means necessary. I've seen this throughout my career doing oversight investigations for Chuck Grassley. There's just this attitude that, if you blow the whistle, if you point out our wrongdoing, then you're being disloyal to the Bureau. Right.
That's right. Is there something, devil's advocate? Hey, we can't have people out there. I'm usually good at devil's advocate. We can't have people out there creating chaos. We need people to be loyal to our mission, and we can't be having bad people in the FBI destroying what we're trying to do. Something like that. What's the argument?
Well, I mean, look, as I said, it is legit. If what they were asking about had to do with his activities on January 6th, do you have any information about whether or not he went inside the Capitol? Do you have any information on, if it was focused on those things, those would be legitimate security inquiries.
Not to support Donald Trump.
Right, exactly. Supporting Donald Trump or opposing the vaccine has nothing to do with whether someone is suitable for a security clearance, period. I mean, that's it. Right, and that's why this is, and that's why this is being taken seriously by the Inspector General. We sent a copy of this to the Inspector General and made a disclosure on behalf of our client. Technically, he's retired now, but he retired with the security clearance revocation appeal pending. So, he would like, of course, for them to finish hearing his appeal and reverse it based on, among other things, A, he didn't do anything wrong. He's not disloyal to the United States, and B, these questions tainted the entire process unconstitutionally, violating the First Amendment. I mean, this is entirely an illegitimate process. So, his ability to have a clearance, affects his future employment. I mean, he retired early. He's relatively young. He had to take a reduced annuity, a reduced pension, in order to retire early. So if he still has an interest in getting his clearance back. But our understanding is that they're likely just going to, since he retired, they're not going to listen to our, they're not going to hear our appeal or rule on it.